What's up everyone, and welcome on back for another video here on my channel. Thank you for joining me if you're one of my returning subscribers, and welcome to the channel if you are new. If this is your first time, hello, my name is Monet, and here on this channel I share my financial journey. I've shared how I've been budgeting, getting myself out of debt, saving, investing over the past 6 years. So if you're interested, you want to see my journey, you want to join now, either way, I'm happy you are here. If this is something that you like, then please be sure to hit that subscribe button down below and join the family, because we would absolutely love to have you. And make sure you hit the bell so that you will always be notified whenever I upload my next video. So for my returners, again, welcome. And with today's setup, we see that we are going to be doing another installment of a cash envelope stuffing. So I have received my first paycheck from my full-time job for the month of July, and I have decided how I'm going to budget that out, and we are going to sit together and allocate my funds. So if you're interested in seeing any of that, then of course just keep on watching. All right, so getting into the video, just to be transparent with you guys, I am very late with doing this cash envelope stuffing. I actually received my paycheck a week ago, I believe, from when I'm going to post this, and the cash has just been sitting in my bank bag. I pulled it out the day I got paid, but I have not been using my cash, and I didn't want to throw off my cash dividers and things, so I have been using my card, which is just not healthy for me. Honestly, it's been a hard transition getting back into reality after my trip and coming back, and then when I came back I had to get reacclimated with my job, so it's just been a little bit of an adjustment, which is why I wasn't consistent with uploading my video as I should. But I'm telling myself no more excuses, and we need to get back to regularly scheduled programs, because if not, the budget will just get out of hand. But I know you guys understand, you can relate. So we are going to allocate these funds as if I haven't been swiping, but basically once I turn off the camera, I'm just going to look at my budget, see what I need to do, and take the cash out of whatever categories I'm about to stuff and balance myself out so that I can get back to my cash, because cash is the only way I can control my spending. But anyway, looking at our bank slip here, we see that I'm going to be cash stuffing $810, and this is just how I decided to divvy out my denominations when I gave it to the bank teller, so she knew exactly how I wanted it. If you aren't aware, a lot of the products that I use, I create myself, and they are available on my website. So if you see anything you like, most likely it's linked down below, and if you want to support, I would absolutely love that. So for now, we're just going to go ahead and set aside the bank bag, the bank slip, and the binder for when we need it, and I like to get started with my variable income. All right, so just as normal, when it comes to my cash envelope stuffing, I do not take all of the cash out of my paycheck that I receive. I really only take the cash out for my variable spending that I have within my wallet, and then my sinking funds that I keep within my binder. All of the other bills that I pay online, I keep that in my account just so I can pay for those when it's time. And then I also do some savings transfers and investments that I will speak to later on. But just to set the overall picture for my paycheck, I did receive $2,566. I am paid bi-weekly and I'm salary, so normally that is the standard amount that I get. So first I'm going to get into my electronic bills that I did not take the cash out for. First thing, it's not necessarily a bill, but it's just something that I choose to pay for myself, and that is going to be my tithe. That's always 10% of whatever I earn, so $257 was set aside for that. Following that, I do have my rent. I like to pay my rent with each paycheck that I get, just so that one paycheck doesn't take the whole thing, and I'm saving up for August 1st rent with these paychecks. So with my first paycheck, I'm setting aside $1,055, and that's half of my rent, and then I'll cover the rest with the second one from the month. After that is my internet. I pay a fixed amount for that, so $56 is what I always pay, so that's due with this pay cycle. And then the last thing is going to be gas for my car. That's going to be $45, setting aside for that, and it's just easier for me to just keep my gas on my debit checking account because they don't accept cash, and it just works for me. So those are all of the bills that I would just either keep in my account or transfer to where they need to be. And now we can go ahead and get into cash stuffing my variable expenses. So I'm going to take out my wallet and take out my cash dividers. And in case you missed it, I did add quite a few new designs and sets of cash dividers to my website. So I'm gonna swap these out and I'm gonna just introduce the new ones that I created this year. That will happen next cash stuffing. As I said, I'm still trying to get myself together. We are also still participating in the dollar challenge for these cash dividers. So for any dollars that I come across within these categories, I do set them to the side and we will add that to the jar. And then I count that jar up at the end of the year to see what I saved. So getting into our first category, which is spending. Spending is going to get $90 and I'm gonna do 3 20s, 3 10s, and that should be my 90. So we have 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, $90, which is great. Looking at spending, we do have some singles, so I'm gonna set that to the side. And adding to what I just had, that now gives me 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 10, 20, 30. So that's $130 to get me by for my spending for the next 2 weeks. Me and my cousin are going to be doing some things. I mean, we hang out every weekend. It's the best thing. I'm so happy I got to move closer to her because we hang out every weekend and I just love it. So we'll be using my spending for whatever activity or thing we're going to get into this weekend. Next, we move into groceries. Groceries, now this is a category I definitely already spent because, as I told you, I am a bit behind. And when I came back from my trip, I had absolutely nothing in my fridge. And I had to do a big restock when I came back. And I like to go to Sam's Club, buy my meat in bulk. And then honestly, that meat lasts me about 2-3 months, you know, because it's just me that I'm feeding. And I love it. So it's great to have to the side to build up. But the dollar amount always hurts me a little bit just to spend all that money all at one time just for that. But it truly helps in the grand scheme of things when it comes to budgeting for groceries. So definitely try that out if that is not something that you do. I was very late to the game, but my best friend put me on and I love it. So I definitely had to go to the grocery store, do all that. So that all has been done. But I did have that in mind and I was going to allocate $300 to my groceries to handle that. So I will do 2 $100 bills and 2 50s. So that's 100, 200, and 300 there. Looking at my groceries, we do have some dollars, so I can set that to the side. And adding to what I am rolling over, that will now give me a total for groceries of 100, 200, 300, 400, 20, 30, 35. So $435 for groceries. All right, next up we have toiletries. Toiletries is getting $50, so I will do 2 20s and 1 10. That gives me 20, 40, 50. Looking at toiletries, we have $1, so we can set that to the side. And adding to what I have, that will now give toiletries 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 85. So $85 there. Similar story with toiletries. I want to stack up on my paper towels and toilet paper. I also get that from Sam's Club and I love it. It really helps me for a couple of months and I don't have to worry about it. Next we have clothing. Clothing is getting $20. Nothing major really happening, so I'm just slowly building this up for whenever I do get the urge to want to spend. So adding 20, that will now give me 20, 40, and 60. So looking good there. And then last up we have eating out. That is getting $40. So I would do 2 20s to make my 40. And looking here, oh, we have some singles. That is quite a bit. So we will set that to the side. And now I have 20, 40, 60. So $60 for eating out, and that should be good. So looking at my cash dividers, that is everything, and I'm so happy I finally did that and I can get myself back in order. So adding these back to my wallet, they just fit in so nicely and I am ready to spend. But the exciting part are all these dollars I was able to save. And I know I say this often when I have a lot of singles, but I truly think this is the most singles I have been able to save in one cash stuffing. I'm not the best with my singles, but I made it a point to really set these to the side and save it where I can. So let's go ahead and see how much we were able to save this week. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Fabulous. $22 that we can go ahead and add to our jar. So I have her right here. She is looking a little low. As I said, I'm not the best with it, but nonetheless, I add what I can, and it's always a nice surprise at the end of the year to have any money. So love that regardless. So there is our dollars, and we are good to go in there. And then I also have the jar for my coins, which is the same concept as my dollars. Any coins I have left over, I put that in here, so we can go ahead and add that. All right, so there we go. Coins added and looking good. So now we can go ahead and grab my binder and get started with our sinking funds. All right, so diving in. First up, we have annual payments that is getting $25. So a 20 and a 5 will give me that. So we can go ahead and add. I believe the next annual payment thing I have is AAA. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure. But this envelope is basically for things that I pay once a year. So I save up for any subscriptions, annual payments, things like that, so that then I don't have to worry about it. So adding $25, that will now give us 100, 150, 170, 190, 210, 230, 250, 270, 290, 310, 330, 350, 370, 390, 410, 430, 440, 450, 455. So that's $455 saved up within annual payments. Up next, we can move into car maintenance. Car maintenance is getting $100. And if you remember from my monthly reset, as I shared, car maintenance got hit pretty bad over the last couple of months. So I am trying to build this up. I like to keep my car maintenance balance at least at the minimum for my car insurance deductible, you know, just so in case anything happens, I have at least the amount of my deductible. And my deductible is $500. So trying to get back to that, and then you know, slowly building on it just in case any other mechanical issues or things come up. But we are going to pray over Lily. She has been great. So hopefully nothing occurs within there. But adding $100 today, that will now put car maintenance at 100, 200, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 85, 86, 87. So that's $387 that I now have saved up within car maintenance. So looking good there. After that, we move into car insurance. That's going to be $50 added there. And I do pay for my car insurance every 6 months. I just recently paid it. So I believe the next one is in November, if I'm not mistaken. I think I just paid it in May. So now adding 50, we have 100, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 310, 20, 30, 40, 45. So that's $345 for car insurance. So looking good there, on track. I have a little breakdown of an estimate that I think it will be based off of the last time I paid it, and then I break that out over the 6 months to hopefully have around that amount when the time comes. So truly, that is the goal within sinking funds, honestly. If you don't have a specific due date, you can just save, you know, over time and let it build. But if you know that something's coming up, sinking funds are a great way to make sure that you have the payment in the allotted amount of paychecks that you receive until you can pay it. Next up, Christmas. Christmas is getting $25. So I will do a 20 and a 5 there. And looking at my Christmas, I did condense this because there were quite a few bills in here. So now we have 100, 200, 250, 270, 290, 300, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So that's $325 saved up for Christmas, which is great. After Christmas, we get into gifts. Gifts is getting $10, so I will do a 10 here. Adding 10, that will now put this envelope with 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 75. So $75. After that, we have household. Household, I'm not adding anything to this envelope today. It is all right where it is for now. Similar story with medical. I capped this off at $540 and it has that in there, so nothing for me to add there. Next, we can move into travel. That's the last thing. Travel is getting $100, so that's good. We have $100 left. We'll go ahead and add that within here. So now within travel, I have 1,500. These are placeholders, so these let me know that I have $1,500 within the bank, so I don't have to keep the physical cash. So if we set that to the side, that now gives me 1,600, 20, 25, 30. So that's $1,630 in total that I have within travel. And honestly, you guys, I was saving up my travel for my 30th birthday. My birthday is in November, and we were going to do a trip or a cruise and things like that. But unfortunately, things came up. Some people can't attend, so the price is now not what we thought it was. And with a cruise, once one person's out, it jumps the price up for everybody else that's remaining to cover it. And I really didn't want to do that. We put a pin on that idea for my birthday, so I'm not sure what we are doing. I was saving this money to the side for something, so if that doesn't happen, I'm doing something for my 30th birthday to celebrate, even if it's by myself, doing solo, spa, retreat, something. But yeah. So that's why I have so much money in there, and to be determined on what that's going to be spent on now. But other than that, that is everything that I have for my sinking funds and all of the cash. So now I'm just going to get into the savings transfers and investments that I did with the remaining balance of my paycheck. All right, so these savings transfers are honestly my favorite part because I just love to see the steady growth of these things over time. These are basically my main financial goals that I'm trying to hone in on. So the first thing is going to be my home fund. We all know that's top priority, trying to get that to where it was because it's been taking some hard hits over the last couple of years. Nevertheless, grateful for where it is and grateful for the money that I did have set aside. But for this year, I'm trying to get at least $5,000 saved within that account by the end of the year. I am adding $210 today from this paycheck, so that will now get our total to $1,855 that we have saved within the home fund, which is great. And then the last remaining dollars is going to go to my Roth IRA. That's getting $130 from this paycheck, and we are on a goal to have this maxed out, not necessarily by the end of the year, but at least by the end time that you are allowed to contribute for the year. So that's technically April 2027, and I want to max it out for the $7,500, and adding this will now put me at $4,125. So that is great. I have not steered from allocation of this Roth IRA because I was late to the game with starting it. Love to see the progress within there. But after that, you guys, that is every dollar of my paycheck, how I decided to allocate it, and that will complete my breakdown. So as always, you guys, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know with a thumbs up. That lets me know that you enjoyed these videos and that this is something that you still like to watch. Give me some advice, some encouragement, some things that you are doing, what's going on with you financially within the comments. Always love to hear what's going on with you guys and can cheer us both on. That is what this channel is for, motivation. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, if you made it to the end, you haven't subscribed, you clearly enjoyed the content, so join the family. But yeah, that's all I have for today, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you all next time within my next video. Bye, guys.